Hello, and welcome back to episode 4. As promised, today we're on our way to Knowlton, where we're going to be meeting Michael on his Royal Enfield motorbike. He's going to tell us some really interesting facts about this fascinating church and henge.
Thanks for coming, Michael. It's
No,
just
my pleasure.
absolutely brilliant to see you.
I was meaning to come back up this week. There's a couple more things I'd like to have a look at.
Yeah.
First of all, we started off by asking Michael about the church in the centre, which he told us was Norman.
So if it's a Norman church, then kind of how old is that, or when was it built, do you think?
Well, the church itself is 12th century, so good old William would have come over here, and he didn't want the Saxons worshipping in their pagan style. So although sort of Anglo-Saxons were Christian, they'd done things differently to the Normans. So what they did is they stamped their authority by building the church.
Yeah.
So the church itself is 12th century. The tower was added later, about 15th century. That's why it's a bit neater, although the construction is very similar.
And what's it made of?
Stone, flint, lime, mortar. It's
all things that could be found here,
yeah,
locally in the ground.
I would imagine so. It looks like local stone. It was used for several hundred years. I think it fell into sort of disrepair and disuse after the Black Death, when the village of Knowlton was abandoned and people stopped coming here. But you've got kind of three ages of use here. You've got the Neolithic henge, and then you've got the yew trees, which are probably Anglo-Saxon or Saxon. And if you look, they actually form a line, and it's believed it was a boundary marker. There was a third tree at what we call the sentinel trees. There was a third one, a third tree there. That's fallen down sometime. But you can still see the line of trees heading down west, which would have been a boundary marker. So you've got the henge first, then the trees, and then the Norman church.
Should we go and have a closer look at the yews, do you think?
Indeed.
Yeah. So I know you're really interested in yew trees.
Oh, yew trees are fantastic.
Yeah. Can you tell me why? What is it about the yew that you love so much?
It's such an old tree. They've seen so many. I mean, this one's so many years. This one's probably maybe 1,200 years old. Of course, the one at Wimble St Giles probably 1,600 years old.
Yeah.
The one at Litcham Travers 1,700 years old, and the one at All Hallows maybe up to 2,000 years old. So to get a perspective, especially the one at All Hallows, that started as a sapling when the Romans hadn't even come here.
That's incredible. Yeah. If we stop here for a minute, we can get a closer view of the church as well. Do we know why it fell down? Was it just fell down in time, or was it actually destroyed by anyone? Or
I think it just fell into disrepair when the village was abandoned. The Black Death, I mean, it decimated the whole of Europe. So it's like 2/3 of the population. So small little hamlets like Knowlton weren't
just
viable,
wiped
and just wiped out.
that's very sort of
poignant, isn't
yes,
it today?
Yes, it is for now. Yeah.
And then people moved to the south of the River Allen, and then Wimborne was sort of became the town.
Yeah.
But it's in very good condition considering how old it is. You can see the difference in.
You can see the difference
in building styles.
This main part's much rougher, isn't it? And
yeah.
This is much more finished, if you like.
Yeah.
Would there have been bells here, do you know?
I would imagine so, yeah. And it's not too far from the coast, so there would have been risk of Viking raiders as well.
Gosh, how exciting.
So, the Vikings loved a small church like this. They would come in, any reliquary or anything, they would have carried away. But it's interesting the way the church is in a Neolithic pagan site. It's a real stamp of Christendom, a real stamp of authority. You know,
Yeah, we've taken this
we've taken this place over. We know when the Romans came here, there was a tribe that lived in this, what we now call Dorset, called the Durotriges, which is where you get the name Dorset. From Durotriges, the Romans called this area Domnovaria, and then the Saxons would have come and they put a cester on everything, so Dorchester, Dorchester, eventually you get Dorset. So we know there was a Celtic tribe, the Durotriges. They definitely would have used this for rituals, for all sorts of things. Whether they buried people here, it's probably in the area. There's up to 35 barrows along this stretch of England, you know, this little piece of England from Knowlton to Wimble St Giles.
Which you can see from the air, I think,
Yes,
a lot better
you
when
can,
it's very dry,
Yeah.
hot weather. You can see them, yeah.
All these colourful ribbons are very beautiful, and they contain messages. The messages are for people who are facing hardship or have died, and people come here today to put the ribbons on the tree to remember those people and to feel at peace.
The Durotriges to the Romans, to then sort of Romano-Britain, the Britons, to the Anglo-Saxons, to the Normans, and it's kind of gone full circle. It's almost become a pagan site once again.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask. There are people who have their rituals here still today, aren't there?
Indeed, there is. There's a group of druids called the Dorset Grove who come to this site, and they do Samain, Beltane. Imbolc's a really good one. They're a really friendly bunch. They're really inclusive. So when lockdown's over, they're really happy for people to watch and join in.
So these ceremonies are at particular times of the year, aren't they? They mark sort of waypoints of the year, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like Easter's coming up. In other countries, it's Passover or Paschal, which England's kept its Anglo-Saxon name. Easter comes from Easter, from the goddess Ostara, and it's Easter Monath, the month of Easter. So we've kept the old pagan name, even though it's considered the resurrection of Christ, predominantly a Christian ceremony. It's not. It's a pagan ceremony that's all melded into one.
Yeah.
And you tend to find that festivals, no matter what religion, all seem to sort of fall on round about the same dates.
I could have happily chatted to Michael all day. I learnt so much, but now it's time for us to go home. I've really enjoyed this visit to Knowlton, and I hope you have as well. It is a special place, and it holds so many memories for me of family picnics, playing football, flying kites, and it has the same for a lot of people too. Every time I drive past, the car park is full of people looking at it, taking photographs and enjoying themselves. I hope you can come here one day and see it for yourself. Next time, in episode 5, we're going to be doing some crafts together. So I'm really excited to see you then. Bye!